You're probably staring at a list of network video recorders, wondering which one will actually sit quietly in your server rack, keep your cameras feeding clean footage, and not turn into a monthly headache. You want something reliable, easy to live with, and worth the money, not just a glossy spec sheet that sounds impressive until you try to plug it in. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The biggest fear with enterprise-grade gear is that a small mismatch in expectations can end up costing you time, money, and a lot of sleepless nights watching a security blind spot. Let's talk about what the Core NVR for Enterprise actually does when you bring it into a real office or a small to medium business environment. It's designed to be the brain for Ubiquiti's Unify Protect ecosystem, taking video streams from up to 50 cameras and writing them to storage while handling motion detection, alerts, and remote access. In practice, the first thing you notice is how little you have to wrestle with the interface. After you fire up the Unify Protect app, the NVR shows up as a single device, and the onboarding wizard walks you through network settings, storage allocation, and camera pairing. For a tech-savvy manager who already uses Ubiquiti switches and access points, that continuity is a real time saver. You're not pulling out a separate manual or juggling a third-party portal. Everything lives under the same login, which means less chance of misconfiguration. But the ease of setup isn't the only thing that matters once the system is live. In my conversations with a few IT pros who have deployed similar Unify setups, the everyday pain point is storage management. The Core NVR ships with a couple of drive bays, and you can pop in either SSDs for speed or larger HDDs for capacity. The catch is you have to decide early how long you need to retain footage. If you go for 30-day retention on 50 high-resolution streams, you'll need at least a 10 terabytes RAID 1 array. The hardware itself will handle the right load without dropping frames, but the system will start warning you about low space once you hit that threshold, and you'll have to replace or add drives. That's a hidden trade-off. The NVR is solid, but it doesn't magically expand storage without you buying it. Now, who should actually consider this box? If you're already invested in Ubiquiti's networking gear, run a small to medium site with a moderate number of cameras, and need a single pane of glass for monitoring, the Core NVR is a natural fit. It shines in environments where you want remote access from multiple stakeholders. Think a retail chain manager checking live feeds from a laptop, or a property manager pulling backup clips from a mobile device. The 5-year warranty and the fact that a brand new unit is dispatched before they even inspect a return give a lot of peace of mind for businesses that can't afford downtime. Those RMA perks mean you won't be left holding a dead server for weeks. The priority handling and prepaid return shipping keep the process smooth. On the flip side, if you're a hobbyist with just a handful of home cameras, or a large enterprise that needs to ingest thousands of streams and integrate with a broader CM solution, you'll likely outgrow the Core NVR quickly. The device caps out at 50 cameras, and while the processing power is more than enough for that scale, it won't compete with a dedicated, multi-node video management system that can scale to hundreds of cameras across multiple sites. Also, the NVR's reliance on the Unify Protect software means you're locked into that ecosystem. If you ever want to switch to a different VMS, migration can be messy. Let's get into the practical strengths that show up after you've had the NVR running for a few weeks. First, the video quality stays consistent even when the network gets busy. I've seen a case where a company's Wi-Fi was saturated with guest traffic, yet the wired connection to the NVR kept the stream steady, thanks to Ubiquiti's PO switches handling bandwidth allocation. Second, the alert system is surprisingly nuanced. You can set motion zones per camera, get push notifications only for activity in high-risk areas, and the recordings are automatically tagged for easy searching. That saves hours of scrolling through footage after an incident. Third, the firmware updates are rolled out in a way that doesn't require a full system reboot. You can schedule them for off hours and keep the cameras online. In a business where cameras are a compliance requirement, that kind of uptime is priceless. No product is perfect, so let's cover the practical weaknesses you might bump into. The user interface, while clean, can feel a bit sparse when you dive into advanced analytics. If you want custom AI detection beyond motion like people counting or facial recognition, you'll need to add third-party software or wait for future Unify updates. Also, the initial cost is higher than a DIY NVR built from a generic PC, so the budget-conscious buyer must weigh the convenience and warranty against that upfront outlay. Finally, the